Okay, now if God is righteous and God is true and he's not going to lie to people, then he's now the way he judges people is by what you did, then he can't change your free will or alter it or override it. Because if he did, then he couldn't judge you. And he can't like selectively alter people's free will. You know, I'm going to selectively alter this person's free will, and I'm going to selectively alter that one. I'm not going to change this person's free will, and I'm not going to do this person's free will, because in judgment, then the people that maybe made bad decisions and did evil things could go to God and say, well, this isn't righteous and this isn't true because I needed my free will changed. So God can't change your free will. He can't do it because he said he's not going to lie to you. He's not going to lie to anyone, and he's going to judge you according to what you did. Okay, now there's I think, well, what's going on now is now there's an issue with scriptures. Now, if I use a scripture, you know, to explain my belief or my point of view, then I'll always write my original writing commentary on it. And if there's something that I say and you don't agree with it and you want to use the scripture, then you must use your original writing commentary about the scripture you're using. And it can't be from like, you know, you're going to quote Billy Graham or Billy Sunday or Billy Crystal or Oral Roberts or Oral Hershiser. You know, it has to be something that you understand and that you're able to explain in your original writing commentary. And I'll give you an example. Let's say I worked as a registered nurse, and I have a patient, and the phlebotomist comes in. I'm retired now, but I worked as a registered nurse. And the phlebotomist comes in and draws the blood. And the patient asks me, "What was that?" And I said, "Well, that was a troponin draw." And they said, "Well, what's a troponin draw?" And if I said, "Well, it is what it is, man, doctor ordered it," I could go that route, or I could explain it. I could say, well, now there's suspected a myocardial infarction, like some people call it a myocardial infarction, and some people call it heart attack. Now, whenever that's suspected, the doctor will order three things. They will order a chest X-ray, echocardiogram, and a troponin draw. Well, okay, now we're focused on the troponin draw. Now, troponin is found only in cardiac muscle. Now, if there's an infarction or tissue death, that troponin is going to leak out into your bloodstream. And then when they do the draw, it's going to either be positive or negative for troponin. Well, let's look at this patient here, the labs. Now, you actually do have a little bit of troponin. As you can see here, it says the normal range is 0.00 to 0.04. And this person has
less than 0.02, which is very, very scant amount. But if it goes higher than the normal range, then there's a problem.
And if it's negative, that's a good thing because there's no troponin in your blood. If there is, then they look at the other factors or the other tests, and they will excuse me, and they will come up with a decision if there really was a myocardial infarction. Now, I could do that. I could explain it like that, or I could say, it is what it is. Now, if I said, it is what it is, the patient would probably look at me and say, you probably don't know what you're talking about. But if I explain what happens with the troponin draw, they will understand. And it's the same thing with people that just throw a scripture out. And they say, well, why are you using this scripture? And what is the context of it? Can you write your commentary and why you're using this scripture? And more common than not, they will say, well, it is what it is. And if you do that, if you just throw a scripture out like that, and you don't write your original writing commentary, then you don't know what you're talking about. You really don't. So anyway, if you disagree with what I mentioned, you can please write if you want to use the scripture, use the scripture, and please write your original writing commentary. And that's about it for now, and thanks for watching, and this is Current Discussions.